is working on a tool that every vice president of education that's ever existed in Toastmasters is going to love. This tool uses AI with your membership roster to actually pre populate all of your agendas with participants in every role. It gives you the ability to either manually go out and place where you want for people to be the speaker for this week and the evaluator for that week, or it can track using AI.
Welcome to D50 After Dark. I'm your host, Mickey Bennett, and in today's episode, we will be having another conversation with David Haney, and we're going to be talking about what everybody's been talking about for the past year, AI, specifically AI tools for Toastmasters. If you're looking for a new way to make your Toastmasters experience high-tech, listen and stay tuned to this episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Nunu Buffet in Addison, Texas. Nunu Buffet is a Chinese buffet on Beltline Road in Addison, and this place is huge. They have plenty of seating, so you'll never be waiting in line, and they're constantly replacing the food, so it's always hot and fresh. And I'm reliably told that the sesame chicken is particularly delicious. So next time you're craving Chinese food, come down to Nunu Buffet in Addison, Texas, and enjoy a meal. All right, welcome back to D50 After Dark. I'm your host, Mickey Bennett, and we have David Haney. Welcome back to the show, David.
Thank you for having me back.
Now, as a semi-retired IT guy, you know a lot about technology, including artificial intelligence or AI.
I know this much.
You know that much. Okay, there's a lot to know about it, and nobody can know it all. But you've had some experience, and there are opportunities for Toastmasters to use artificial intelligence in their Toastmasters journey.
Absolutely. Treat AI like a tool. That's what it is. It's not here to replace human beings. Anyone that uses it for that purpose is going to be disappointed with the results. AI is a tool, and tools make humans better. They make their work better. They make their work more efficient. And if you go at it with that mindset and you use AI that way, AI can be a wonderful tool for helping you in your Toastmasters journey.
Very cool. Now, I've dabbled with using AI to help with speech writing. I throw in some ideas, see what the LLM, the large language model like ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini, what they do with my bullet point list of ideas, right? So that's something probably a lot of us have tried out. What are some other ways that we can use AI for Toastmasters?
Well, one of the most common ways that I've seen it used recently in MetroCrest, my home club, is that our table topics folks tend to jump right in there and throw the theme of the day that we're having in our meeting into it and ask the AI, what can I come up with? Some interesting themes that either agree with this theme, follow the theme, or are antithesis to the theme. And it can throw ideas out that can make table topics an extremely easy and yet interesting and provocative process and outcome for what you're going to present to your people as the table topics master in a meeting.
So, for example, if the Toastmaster of the day has selected the theme exotic foods for the meeting, and you're the table topics master, you might go to your favorite AI chatbot and ask it for I'm in my Toastmasters meeting. The theme is exotic foods. I need 5 table topics questions to ask people, and it would give you some ideas.
Oh, yeah, it would probably give you 40 or 50, and you'd have to narrow it down. But that's the beauty of AI. AI will give you as much or as little as you want. It's all about how well you ask the question. And just like talking to a 5-year-old child, and I think of AI in many aspects, especially the LLMs, as 5-year-old children that just happen to know everything in the encyclopedia. They have the knowledge. They don't know necessarily how to communicate it, how to ask, or how to answer. So it's your job when you're using AI to ask the question well. And I find the best advice I can give to people is ask the AI the question like you would ask a 5-year-old child. And when you ask it that way, you usually get pretty good responses from it. And as you get practice with it, you can get more specific, you can get more detailed, and you will get back an equal amount of more specific, more detailed answers.
Now, in these examples, we're talking about LLMs, large language models,
Mhm.
which are basically like a chat bot that what most people think of these days when they think of using an AI tool. They think of these chat bots, but artificial intelligence is a technology that's implemented in many other ways than just in LLMs.
Mhm.
And there are some ways in which AI technology has been used to create some tools for Toastmasters, correct?
That is true. They're right here in District 50. A friend of mine named Don Teague, who's with Big D Toastmasters, inside the city, has had the opportunity to create a couple of different tools using AI. The first one was created last year because we lost something that the area directors and the division directors used all the time. The gentleman at Toastmasters International at the end of June of 2024 or 25, sorry, June of 2025, retired, that was responsible for producing all the additional reports that were available out on the legend of the DCP reporting tool inside of TMI.
So when you go to toastmasters.org, there's a place in there. If you go to your profile or Club Central
Mhm.
or other places, you can find Distinguished Club Program Reporting.
Correct. And there was an additional reports option that was highly used by area and division directors in the left margin
Hmm.
of the DCP reporting screen. And those reports would give you aggregate numbers like how many of your people have actually paid within this group, within this area, within this division, how many people have gone to, how the officers are scheduled to go training versus the number, et cetera, and so on. Things that you needed to track, you needed to know. And all of this was produced by a single individual working for TMI for years, building all these reports and updating them on a daily basis. When he retired, reports stopped. And Don heard me, crying in my milk one day about the fact that we didn't have access to these reports anymore. And he took it upon himself to use AI with Claude and some tools that he has to go out and try to recreate these. He actually found the opportunity to talk to the individual who used to make those reports for TMI, learned what he could from that individual, got the connections. And if you go out right now to reportstm.com, you will see his current work in progress, which in my mind has reached about the 70th percentile in terms of completion, in terms of replacing all those lost pieces of information and reporting. And it's out there right now for people to go use.
Reportstm.com.
.com.
Okay. And so
Mhm.
this is not an official Toastmasters provided tool. This is a third-party tool
Mhm.
provided by this gentleman. Do I need a subscription to use it, or I can just go to the website and try it out?
Right now, it's free of charge. You no requirements for logins or IDs. You can just go straight to it and use it and try it.
Very cool. And
Mhm.
and you say it's at least 70% done, which compared to not having these reports at all
A big
is
plus.
is a big plus.
Mhm.
So
And
reportstm.com.
it's not just District 50. He has had it set it up so that every district in the entire world can get their information from that source.
Very cool. Very cool. So particularly area directors and division directors and
Even
senior
trios.
senior three people like
Mhm.
program quality director could really benefit from having access to these tools.
Absolutely. And he's been working on this now. I said I the conversation that triggered this where I was crying in my milk was probably about 7 months ago. And he's created all of this using AI to this point of completion in months.
And this gentleman, what's his name?
Don Teague.
Don Teague. I think I know Don.
Yeah. And Don is an IT guy extraordinaire, uses AI to perform his work. And he's a member here in District 50 of Big D Toastmasters now.
Now you told me you have another tool that our listeners might be interested that's also AI powered.
That's true. This same individual is working on a tool that every vice president of education that's ever existed in Toastmasters is going to love. This tool uses AI with your membership roster to actually pre-populate all of your agendas with participants in every role. It gives you the ability to either manually go out and place where you want for people to be the speaker for this week and the evaluator for that week, or it can track using AI how long it's been since this person's been an evaluator, whether or not this person has done the appropriate steps in communication to be an evaluator. And once they're eligible, based on the amount of time and the amount of participation level that they have in the process, where do they fit in terms of their next evaluation? And take that person and plug them in automatically for you instead of you having to do all of that manually. And every VP of Ed out there has to do this in one form or other in terms of building agendas and making sure people get their speaking in, their evaluations, et cetera, and progress in their plans. This AI will do all of that planning for you and lay it out in a already populated scheme.
What's this tool called?
This tool that he's working on right now is called theclubschedule.com, all one word, theclubschedule.com. Now,
Right.
this tool actually has cost a little bit of money for him to build and produce. I'm not sure exactly what the final tally on the cost structure will be, but it'll be minuscule, $15, $20 a month or something of that nature. And who knows, depending on how it's sponsored or whatnot, it may be even less than that one day. But he is actually experimenting and using it right now with Big D Toastmasters here in District 50. But it has the ability very soon to be expandable to any club that would want to use it anywhere in the district or, frankly, anywhere in the world.
So this isn't really a replacement for something like Free Toast Host.
Mm.
This is a tool that the vice presidents of education particularly could use to be more effective in less time doing their role as a VP of education.
I think he has a long-term plan that it might be a tool that could replace Easy Speak or Free Toast Host at some point in the future, but his current focus is on the gap neither of those tools provide, which is helping the VP of Ed figure out who's going to speak next week.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, so there's already tools out there to use.
Mhm.
You can use an LLM for things. Now, I mentioned experimenting with having an LLM, artificial intelligence chatbot, help me write a speech, right?
Mhm.
Which is not really necessary, and you really should learn to write your own speeches. But I wanted to ask you because I know you're interested in AI ethics.
Mhm.
Is it unethical for me to ask an AI to write a speech for me and then give the speech?
That depends on how far you take it. Um, the my current focus regarding ethics is as a member of the IEEE P7999 Subcommittee on Standards for Ethical Use of AI in Projects and Programs. And one of the things that we are continuing to debate at this particular point is how far is too far for AI? Some of it's obvious. You see people out there suing the manufacturers of certain AIs because AIs have made some foolish recommendations to people. Some very unfortunate circumstances have occurred. That's a clear and obvious cliff you don't want to go off. But when it comes to ethics, I see for our Toastmasters journey, what would you do with another human as the basic starting line of what is ethical with the AI? If I have a friend, then I would ask that friend, I have some ideas. What is the best idea that you hear and that I should go and write my next speech on? That's a perfectly fine question to ask the AI.
Hmm.
If you want to ask that same friend, I want to write a speech about this subject, but I'm not sure what some of the key points should be in that subject. I could go and look them up online. What do you know?
Mhm.
That's also a perfectly ethical thing to ask the AI. Well, the rule being that if you can ask another person and it would be considered acceptable, why can't you ask the same question to the AI?
That's a good rule of thumb. Just
Mhm.
imagine what would be permissible with another human. That being said, though, if I if I asked Tommy to write a speech for me and he wrote a speech and then I delivered that at my club, would that be unethical?
Well, think about it. Would it be unethical to have another human write your speech for you?
That's a whole
Yes.
profession of speech writers.
Right.
Politicians give speeches that are written by professional speech writers all the time.
That's true, but that's not in an education format. And
Mm,
this is where you draw the line from an ethical perspective.
I see.
In a recent seminar that I conducted at a local college, they asked the same question, but in the student format of how far is too far using AI in a collegiate format as a student. And the answer follows the same pattern. If it's something that you would naturally ask another human to do, or that you could do yourself through lookups and find the information manually, and the only thing the AI is doing is aggregating and reducing the cycle time on work that you already permissible to do,
Hmm.
then it's okay to use the AI to do it.
Hmm.
But when you cross that line of write the speech for me
Hmm.
and I'm going to deliver it in an education environment, that's unacceptable. We call that plagiarism, among other things. All right. But it's the old adage, what'll get you an F in college will get you an A in the business world. All right. As you said, there are people who are paid to write, speeches for others as a profession.
Hmm.
AI can write a speech for you as a profession, but you're shortchanging yourself at Toastmasters if you use that function
Hmm.
because you're here to learn. And part of your education is learning how to write speeches for yourself. So using the AI to do that shortchanges your learning opportunity. And just like using AI to do your homework for you in
Hmm.
school, shortchanges your learning in school. Using it to write a speech for Toastmasters shortchanges your learning here. And that's the mentality you have to have when drawing that line of what is and isn't ethical in using AI at Toastmasters.
That's a good distinction. We're in an educational environment, so
Mhm.
behave accordingly.
Right.
Very cool. All right. Well, you definitely cleared up some things for me and taught me about some new tools that are available for Toastmasters. I'm looking forward to trying some of these out. And as we wrap up, do you have any possible call to action for our listeners?
Oh my. Don't be afraid of AI. There's a lot of people out there that fear it. It's going to take my job. It's going to take over the world. There's going to be robots running the planet. There won't be a need for humans. Ladies and gentlemen, don't fear the tool. It's a tool. In some ways, no different than a fork eating your food with at the dinner table. It's a sophisticated tool, it's a talented tool, but in the end, it's a collection of knowledge with an engine that tries to feed back that knowledge to you based on the quality of the question you asked it. It is only capable of doing in the end what you yourself can request it to do, especially in these large language conversational models. Don't fear it. Learn to use the tool, and the tool can help you do more.
All right. Well, thank you very much for teaching us about AI and Toastmasters, David. And for our listeners, we will have one more episode with David Haney. We're going to talk about leadership triangles. What do we mean by leadership triangles? Well, I guess you'll just have to stay tuned for our next episode to learn about leadership triangles. This is Mickey Bennett, and I'll be back.